Connelly with the double biceps. It is on the contract on legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. I was laughing because I almost flexed too hard and cramped.
Oh,
Yes, we don't want that to happen, especially as the show leads in to see me going, ah! But we didn't see that. Instead, we saw one bicep and then the second bicep right there. Lawyers have nothing to complain about. They should be very happy. The man to my left, but it could be to your right, depending on what side of the screen you are looking at. It is the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunder Lips, the ultimate male. It is the Siberian Bull. We need to get an action going for that one there. It is the it is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is there somewhere. That's a very loose point backwards there because it just could mean anywhere really, but it is there somewhere. It is none other than your friend and mine. It is Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Hollywood Matt Connelly. It's always a joy to join you here on Arm Wrestling Tonight, your five night a week, half an hour dose of arm wrestling news, bringing you some of the best up-and-coming talent from around the world. But tonight, we have ourselves a very, very special announcement. And it's all about the upcoming AWE Grand Prix 3 event that is taking place on the 23rd of March 2025, right here in South Australia. This will be a huge event, bringing together some of the best 85-kilo talent from around the world right here in Australia. So we're going to share with you some of those athletes that will be taking to the table on the 23rd of March and maybe alluding to who else might well be in the mix. And at the end of all of this, we will announce. So stay to the end because there is a very, very special announcement with a heavyweight matchup between two of, well, the biggest names in the sport in Australia, and one of them is now on the global stage, and he's going to be taken to the AWE table in order to prove himself on left arm. So it looks like our friends from around the region, especially Greg Yeo, is very, very excited about what's coming up. Of course, he's been instrumental behind the scenes. He's been talking to some of the top talent in Southeast Asia and luring them to this event. There's no money involved, so I'm not sure how he's doing it. Maybe it's sexual favors. We're not sure. We'll maybe get into that. We don't know. We don't know what it is that Greg's been
We're not
promising
saying
these people.
that.
We're not saying that. We are not saying that it is sexual favors. But we're but Greg has been working feverishly behind the scenes to help us put this event together and to bring some international magic to the AWE table on the 23rd of March. Hollywood Matt Connelly, what are your thoughts with this event, and what are some of the names that have attracted your attention and that you can't wait to see here on the 23rd of March?
Yeah, well, it's a big event, as you said. We're very excited to do another Grand Prix here in Adelaide, and we had our first two were with the heavyweights or the super heavyweight division. We've thoroughly established that Rickard Bornman is the man of the moment. He has won both titles convincingly, and we thought, well, we've got to get a weight class where Rickard can't cut down and win that as well. So we've gone with the 85 kilo and under division, which let me figure that out in pounds. What is that in pounds? 2.2, 187 and below for the 85 kilo division for our American friends who haven't changed over to the metric system yet. Slowly but surely. But we will get them there eventually. But we've got it's a double elimination 8-man tournament. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be taking place in the same venue that we did our last event, and same production crew. It should come out looking fantastic. And as you mentioned before, Greg Yeo has been instrumental in helping us get some of the top talent from the Southeast Asian region. So it will be an international event, and we've got some of our top guys here in Australia looking to compete and to take down those big names coming from overseas.
Indeed. And for those people who haven't been following AWE over the last couple of years, who might be familiar with what a Grand Prix is, Hollywood Matt Connelly, can you share that with the world?
Sure. Well, that's a double elimination tournament. So we start with 8 people, and each round we go through, we'll get a set of winners and a set of, well, not, we don't like to call them losers, but we go from the
Non-winners.
non-winners, the people who didn't win, winning challenged.
Winning, I like that. Winning challenged athletes.
Yeah. So with the A side, the B side, working our way through to the grand final. In the grand final, this is the interesting part where if you're from the B side bracket, you've actually got to win twice in the grand final to secure the victory. But there's some big prizes on offer. There's some big things happening, and we can't wait to see it and share it with everybody.
Absolutely. So there will be cash prizes for the winner. So we do have athletes flying in from from around the world in order to partake in this event, taking on some of the best up and coming talent here in Australia and some of the top guys. Well, let's talk about Taryn Broad, for instance. He was meant to feature on our last AWE Grand Prix event, and last minute came down with an illness that took him out for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was featured on in the local Murdoch media here. He had the photo shoot to promote the event, and at that point he felt a crick in his neck, and he thought it was just from posing with Tyler Harrison for the photo and having this weird angle looking back over his shoulder for that shoot. And then as it turns out, it was his lymph nodes blowing up, and very fortunately Tyler didn't catch what Taryn had, but whatever Taryn had took him out. And Taryn was in the shape of his life, but Taryn quite naturally is not a heavyweight or super heavyweight. He's much more comfortable at 85, 90 kilos. And so he's a small heavyweight, super heavyweight, but he is a huge 85 kilo competitor. So he physically will look very, very imposing against some of these athletes that are coming from overseas, for instance. So Taryn is already shaping up to be a favorite. He's had some success against some of the top 10 super heavyweights in Australia, and so has demonstrated fantastic and consistent form over the last couple of years at the top level here in Australia. And so he comes into this event as a firm favourite, and from what I see online, he is looking outstanding and is certainly coming into some good form, getting that strength back now, and ready to impose himself upon this 85 kilo field.
Absolutely. I'm just bringing up his Instagram post here. So is it popping up? Hang on, let me see if I can
So
bring
there
that up
is
for
your
everybody.
first announcement. Taryn Broad. There he is there. Taryn Broad with 85 kilos, 19.5-inch bicep, 17.5-inch forearm. You won't find too many bigger 85 kilo competitors than that young man right there. He hails from here in South Australia. He will be the hometown favorite, and just have a look at some of these extraordinary lifts. I mean, this is an 85 kilo competitor. It's no mystery as to how it is that he's taking on some of the super heavyweights in Australia and walking away with some wins.
Damn, that's heavy. Yeah, he is an incredibly strong arm wrestler, a hook puller, and as you said, he has wins over some super heavyweights like Adam Laura, and he's probably right in that maybe the bottom end of the top 10 in the country. I would place him at this point as a 85 kilo puller, and that's in the open division. So this is his weight class right here, the 85 division, and we will see how he stacks up against some of the other notable names that we've got in this tournament.
It really has been frustrating for Taryn because he's always having to go up that weight class in order to find competition, and this is a great opportunity for him to measure himself against some of those big names from around the country. And this is one of my favorite videos, Matt.
Oh yeah, this is great. This really highlights his skill here, going against somebody we might recognize. I was giving it everything I bloody had, as you can see there, and just getting absolutely walloped. But, and I'm heavy. I'm 15 kilos heavier than Taryn is as well,
and about a foot taller.
Yeah, that's right, and couldn't move him an inch. So he will be he's probably coming in as the number 1 seed in this. He will be very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah, I think that's how the seating will likely go. He does look formidable, and as you say, you're no slouch on the table. And there's Taryn, just getting away with whatever he wants to right
Lucky,
there.
it was a lucky win, I'll tell you. If I had tried, if I'd actually tried,
Yeah,
I still would have lost.
So Taryn Broad, is in the mix. So we've got some other special announcements. Maybe we can talk about one of our top internationals who's making his way over to our event, and he was a young man that was featured on our podcast just last week. An exciting young man with a huge social media following. He's got 350,000 plus followers on TikTok, over 200,000 followers on Instagram. Young guy making his way over from, and there it is, young guy making his way over from Thailand. Thank you very much, Greg, for the hookup here and the very warm introduction. And as soon as and by the way, we would have loved to have seen Greg here for the event as well. We most certainly extended the invitation, but I think Greg's got something on, like a wedding or something like that, which is really his wedding, which is really inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient,
And from what I understand, he was still 50-50 on whether or not he'd still come. Can I make this into a honeymoon? I don't know, but anyway, he's doing the right thing by his lovely new wife, and he's not making his way over here on the wedding weekend. So that's he's starting off married life on the right foot. But we will be missing him here for the AWE event on this occasion. We can't wait for this event to be a huge success, because, you know, at an 85 kilo level, there's not too many opportunities for those guys who just aren't mass monsters. And so we really saw that this was a gap and a space that the arm wrestling world was missing in terms of high caliber, beautifully produced content that really showcases these young athletes at 85 kilos and less. And so we can't wait to see this event do exceptionally well. So please get behind the 85 kilo guys, because this is something we would love to do again, but without your eyeballs, without your attention, the sponsors don't come, the pay-per-views don't sell, and we can't afford to keep making the investment. But we truly would love to have 85 kilos as a regular part of the AWE staple moving forward.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. And it's incredible to see that you know, that we have the ability to give opportunities to people like Guy Tanapat and somebody else who we'll get down to on the card a bit later on from the same region. But yeah, it's a privilege to be able to say, well, who's your best guys, or reach out to somebody like Greg and say, look, we're putting together a tournament. Yeah, this is the parameters. Can you please give us your best guys? And these are the ones that he recommended, and they were very keen to come down and compete with us. So yeah, we're very excited to see them and meet them, and I'm sure that they will hopefully have a fantastic time here in Adelaide.
We also reached out to our friends in the Pacific region, because there's some unearthed talent out there on the islands of the Pacific right now, which we would have been super excited to share with you all. But it just so happens, much like Greg's wedding, that there is another event. Who would have thought 3 things on the one weekend?
Yeah.
But around the same time, within a week of this event, is the French Championships. And so a lot of those guys that are within that French Polynesia sphere of influence, they're making their way over to France to compete over there. And so we wish them all the very best of luck. We'd love to see some locals from the Pacific region go over to France and kick some ass over there and do exceptionally well. And so we're looking forward to being able to showcase 85 kilo athletes again later in the year, and for this event to be a huge success, because we know that there's all of this talent that's just sitting out there waiting to be shared with the world.
Absolutely. I'm just picturing Greg walking down the aisle with his phone, like just watching the stream. Like, yeah, hang on. Oh yeah, I do. Yep.
Cheering Guy Tanapat on.
Hey, wait a second. Yeah, absolutely. So, and one of the guys that has done tremendously well over here and is still a young man. And has captured the AWE Junior title and held on to it with an iron grip. Not only holding on to that, but going and winning the national championship twice and looking completely unstoppable. And that is none other than Hamza Hodzic, who is from Adelaide and is just keeps getting better every single time he gets on the table. It's insane.
Oh, Hamza's just one of these wonderful talents, isn't he? He's gifted. He's got wonderful levers. He's a tall, strapping young man. 6'4" ish. He's around your height. Is he still
He's
growing?
a little bit taller than me, I think. So I'm
Yeah. So I mean,
6'3", so he'd at least 6'4". There he is
every
there.
time you see him, he's a few inches taller. He's there he is, holding the belt up high, and he was it Rhett Downwood on this occasion,
This was
or
Ethan Tunstall.
Ethan Tunstall, of course. Sorry. Yes. So this was for the AWE youth title, the junior title, we've called it. That was the belt that Hamza was holding up high. He won that title against young Jamie Barrett, who was a guest on our podcast recently. We do suggest check out his story. He's got an amazing story of overcoming recent adversity to make his way back into the international ranks. So we love Jamie, and Jamie was part of that very first event that we held at AWE 1, and he took on and was the favourite in many people's eyes to beat Hamza Hodzic. But Hamza really, I mean, the Hammer had other ideas on that day and was quite dominant, and people said, oh, well, Hamza's so much bigger than Jamie. He's so much taller. Maybe that's not a fair matchup. And so on this occasion, we've got Hamza on the table with Ethan. And anybody who knows Ethan, he's a strapping young man, tall, about the same height as Hamza, as you can see. Certainly a thicker build. And yet, here we go. Hamza just feeling it right there as he top rolled and straight through like butter on that occasion. And here we go. Look at that.
He's talking
And
to the camera.
I mean, the presence of mind to turn over and mouths to the camera. Given or it might have just been to his uncle, who was who was cage side on this occasion, who is without doubt Hamza Hodges' biggest fan. So he's
loudest fan.
loudest fan anyway, indeed. But look, Hamza's just rolling over there and dominant. So for all of his height, he is still able to sneak under 85 kilos, which makes him formidable. And it's been a while since we've seen him compete against Taryn Broad on the table. And so, these two young men are powerhouses in their weight categories here in Australia. And so actually Taryn coming down a little bit from where he naturally sits. Hamza sitting very comfortably, walking around every day of the week at around this type of weight. So very, very interesting matchup. And I think we've maybe just described who might be number 1 and number 2 seeds. I think these two young men they've proven themselves to be dominant on the big stage, and I guess that's also their advantage. They've competed in AWE before. They understand the rule set. And this is against Jamie Barrett at AWE 1. So they're and not only that, but there is something to be said for a home ground advantage, and certainly the crowd will be going nuts when these two young men stride to the table. So that's obviously going to be of some impact as well.
That's right. I just got caught up watching the match again. I was doing what our French friend was doing the other day, when you sort of just you forget, you're just staring at the video.
Yeah, Steph was really enjoying watching himself on screen. You can see he was playing it through in his mind. Maybe I could have set up a little bit differently here. But that's 3 down. Now we're going to announce 7. We're going to leave a little bit of mystery there, because there is one spot on the card that we can't announce right now, that we're going to save for a little bit later.
That's right, absolutely. Well, our next one, which is we're not sure how to pronounce this one. Greg did try to teach us, and I don't think we passed. But Zhu Jiyu is how I'm
Jujiu.
Zhu Jiyu
Jujiu. Yep.
is how I'm saying it. He is from the Southeast Asian region as well. One of the top pullers over there, highly recommended by Greg Yeo, and he is very excited to come over and compete with us here at the AWE Grand Prix 3. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. He does make it so that the card is an internationally flavored card.
Absolutely, and for a lot of people, Shijiu is a bit of an X factor, especially at this level. And so we know he's been doing wonderful things locally and regionally. He's been developing a name and a reputation, and became very, very highly recommended from Greg. Who it was really, there was a few names that came to mind straight away, and Shijiu was one of them when we were talking about this event. And so, and here we can see the young man looking very, very strong there. And so seeing Jujiu come over to Australia, I believe it's his first time competing in Australia. And so as we talk to our friends from Australia who often have to travel overseas to compete, we know that can be a factor. And although these athletes will be getting here a few days before the big event, acclimatizing, Adelaide is it's a desert environment. It's not similar to Southeast Asia. It's a very dry heat. This will be at the end of March, so it won't be quite as severe as what it is now. But just the other day, for instance, this time last week, it was 48 degrees Celsius in the shade in Adelaide. So the weather can be very, very, very harsh. And unless you're attuned to it, it can definitely be a factor. So one, you've got the travel time, you've got the dehydration that often happens as a result of that. Then you're stepping into an environment that you don't know. And not only that, for these athletes that are coming over, who English might be their second language, for instance, and you're in a different environment, a strange environment, you don't have that home ground advantage. But nonetheless, Shijiu will be here and absolutely giving it his all.
Absolutely. Also, what's fun for us is that we know Taron, we know Hamza, we're on the table with them every week. I have never met these guys, and so obviously, we're taking the international experience that we're seeing here, and as Greg has pointed out, that Jujiu had a 20-second long match with Svetgan, which is the one I just played a second ago, which is absolutely incredible. A man who's, I don't know, got 40 years experience or something. So yeah, but for us, it's like, well, this is where the fun part comes in, where it's like we get to find out what level are we at and what level are they at, and it might be a surprise. They might come over, blow everyone out the water, or they might come over and go, wow, those Australians are just, they've really upped their level. So we'll find out on March the 23rd here in Adelaide.
Another young man that will be coming over to Adelaide is SK. SK hails from South Korea, but now calls Brisbane home. So if he wins, we'll claim him as an Australian. If he loses, he's South Korean. That's how it works here in Australia. So, but SK is a wonderful talent. He's competed at AWE T Series events as well, and proven himself consistently as one of the top guys at 85 kilos at national level competitions and state level competitions. He is a permanent fixture. He was actually a referee for us at our T Series event as well, where he stepped in and officiated during the course of that event. So he's a great friend of AWE, and one of these young athletes who we really just personally like. He's a great ambassador of the sport, and but he'll be flying the flag for South Korea at AWE Grand Prix 3, and he's a talented young man. He's got a lot to offer, and here we see SK on the table. Jamie Barrett at AWE Underground. Look at these two young men, and if you want to know more about how that matchup went, I mean, these are two wonderful young athletes that are both making a big name for themselves, both here and internationally. Of course, a lot of arm wrestling fans have got to know Jamie Barrett over the last couple of years, and for such a young man, he now seems to be a permanent fixture in the sport. Many might know SK, but SK, he is a beast. And there he is. He's just maybe
Well,
we could have shown a different video of
well,
SK.
that's all right. It was an elbow foul on Jamie there,
It was
but
an
that's all
elbow
right.
foul. So Jamie
That's
cheated.
fine.
All right. So,
Jamie cheated.
but SK, a wonderful talent. Here we go in the hook, and look at that. It is.
Oh,
It is.
that was a
Look
lot
at
of fun.
this. This is an absolute war. I forgot how good this match was.
We were in the room here watching this.
Jamie set there, and SK surges almost to the pad. So close. So close.
Jamie's bringing him closer to himself. You can see him slowly inching and inching.
SK
What a match.
has
What a match. Oh, he's got it.
Right there. Lachlan Adair's right arm flails towards SK. You can find that SK has secured the pin, and Jamie with a look of disbelief on his face there, but nonetheless came back for more. And SK is an exciting young talent. We can't wait to see him on the table. We've been looking for a chance to get SK back on the AWE roster, and this was the perfect opportunity at 85 kilos. He is formidable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure. It is a pleasure to have such these amazing guys and such wonderful young men as well. It seems to be the majority of people that we deal with in the arm wrestling scene are all very humble, very friendly, very easy to deal with, and you want the best for them. It's almost like you don't want to see anybody lose, but you know, when you get these amazing matches like what we had here with SK and Jamie Barrett, it's like that's the ultimate. You know, when you've got two guys, you like both of them, you want both of them to win. Or for me, I just want them to have a fantastic match, and that's what we saw there. But SK will be coming down and putting his lot in for the AWE Grand Prix 3 tournament. And that's the thing with tournaments, is that because it's double elimination, you never know, because somebody could get in a war quite early, as we saw with Charles Puri at the heavyweight AWE 2, and him and Marcus Itiro went for like a 3-minute first round.
Two, correct? Yeah, yeah. They went to war and had nothing left in the tank after that, which made it a lot easier for everybody else moving through those athletes as the day wore on. So another rising star who's been a fixture with AWE, Jacob Tuxworth, fantastic young man, great ambassador of the sport, always working hard on his game. It's always fantastic to see his training videos and what he's up to, and so Jacob's going to be making his way back to AWE. So can't wait to see Jacob take his rightful place there on the table amongst these 85 kilo athletes as well.
That's right, yeah, and he had a match against some unknown guy here that yeah, thinks that he was ready for the match, or he wasn't.
Yep. So, and I think that bearded young man there, he might have had maybe 20 or 30 kilos on Jacob.
Maybe.
Nowhere near as much hair though, and that might have been a factor, because you can see that back pressure coming from the man bun at the back. Look at that. Yeah,
you can see all the 24 years of weightlifting experience coming into play there.
Yeah,
in that half a second of a pin.
Felt a little bit like the bus match, that one. This is Matt explaining why he lost, and back to the action. Looking very serious though, Matt. If it came down to how serious one looked, you would definitely have got a couple more pins in this match.
I wanted to go first because I was like, I know I'm going to get beaten, so I want to just get it over and done with.
Had you gripped up with Jacob beforehand? Did you know what you were walking into here?
I hadn't. I had looked at some of his footage and everything, but at the end of the day, I pretty much do the same thing every time. So
you're really bracing yourself here. It looks like you're really trying to get your shoulder almost unfairly inside. Oh, there we go. Well,
that was my one moment of glory.
Wow. And what are your thoughts after this? It's like, okay, I've got a lane here. I might have to cheat. I might have to start from from a perpendicular position. But yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrating.
In all honesty, I think Jacob just didn't hit on that one.
Jacob's like, oh,
He let me
I
go.
shouldn't have done that. What am I doing?
He let me into the match a little bit, as
What am I
opposed.
giving a sympathy pin away for? Bugger it. He's copping it next time. Is Matt almost looked hopeful there? Like, okay, maybe I'm back into this. This
I
is.
knew that. Like you can feel it when somebody can just blast through and then they don't.
And
So
Jacob's like, okay, well, we had a bit of fun last time. Now it's time for you to learn a lesson.
yeah, well, I think this
With
slips
Matt
on there.
Connelly.
I'm pretty sure it's a slip. I'll just get past that bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I may have watched this a couple of times.
Yes.
All right, here we go. I think I edited it. So yeah, straight away he's got me on the bicep, the defense.
Holding you. Yeah.
So
holding this on your bicep. He's just bleeding you, and he's like, that's it. That's enough. That's enough. We made a show. Okay.
All right, that's enough of that.
That's enough. So Jacob Tuxworth is pretty handy on the table. Again, we can't wait to see him back in an AWE shirt. Table side at AWE Grand Prix 3. The Grand Prix 3 is the 85 kilo event that is taking place right here in Adelaide on the 23rd of March. Before we go away, there is one man. There's one man. You can't talk about under 85 kilo in Australia without talking about this name here. That name is Josh Barker.
It is.
He makes his AWE return to the table, and Josh is, he is a very special young man, isn't he? He's got some exceptional genetics. He's always brings the best shape. He's in such great condition, and he's enjoyed AWE glory before. He's had a taste of it, and he most definitely, and this is. He's on the table here, and just giving away about 75 kilos in weight as well.
Tyson, I believe, was literally double Josh's weight here.
Yeah, I think 155 kilos thereabouts.
Josh is like 70 something.
Yes. Josh literally has bigger forearms than he does calves. He's got some frightful arm wrestling genetics. Just
a lightning fast press, and he gets it in on everybody and anybody. And even if you're 155 kilo, which is 350 pounds or something, look at that, just straight through. Lightning. Takes 2 bites of the cherry, but the first round, and just slams that hand to the pad, which is what he does to everybody. So especially in a double elimination tournament format, he has got a very good chance of cruising his way through deep into the bracket before he has to actually start to burn into those reserves of energy, because he might flash through in 3 or 4 seconds and he's won 3 or 4 matches.
It really is. This format probably fits Josh Barker's style more than super matches, because he is so fast off the line and he does have that amazing press. He's able to almost have his will with most athletes, and so the quick nature of that movement is such that he should be able to progress through his first couple of matches and bubble towards the top of the pile by the time he's got there. Should be fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so just recapping, I'll bring up the screen here where we've got all of the athletes that we've mentioned so far. Where is a window? That one there, that one there, share that one there.
So whilst you're doing that, 85 kilo fans can look forward to this spectacular lineup. Taryn Broad, Hamza Hodgick, Josh Barker, Zhu Yu. We've got Guy Tanapat, SK, and Jacob Tuxworth. So we've got Australia represented there. We've got Thailand represented. We've got South Korea represented. Zhu Yu is Philippines?
It may be, or I don't know if he's Singaporean or not, but Greg would be able to answer that. But he's around that region.
Somewhere. I mean, that's one easy way to offend all of those people, but nonetheless, perhaps we can get some guidance there from Greg, because I know he said it, and so I feel rude not recalling it at this stage. But what a spectacular lineup of great 85 kilo athletes, certainly the best that we're able to get together for this event. And as Greg has just mentioned in the comments, it is a mega event. Now, on top of all of this, that's not all, arm wrestling fans. We do have more than the steak knives on this occasion. Is a, you know what, I'm going to steal our friends at Pro Punches line here. A mega match. It is a
Oh,
mega match
wow.
between two heavyweights. One hailing from South Africa. He is the phenom. He is the man that the arm wrestling world is talking about right now. Rickert Borman returns to the AWE table on left hand. He has already performed and beaten Marcus Itirai. But what a lot of people don't know is that our last Grand Prix event, that match was scheduled to happen between Rickert and Brett Coots. Now, Brett Coots, as strong as he is on right hand, has fallen short on 2 occasions, coming second to Rickert in the right hand AWE Grand Prix events that we've had so far, and has been it was our number 2 seed at our last event. But he is a different animal. He's a different beast on left hand. Anybody who knows Brett Coots knows that his left is just that 10-15% stronger, and he feels that he's got exactly what he needs in order to take care of young Rickert Borman. So Rickert Borman has the hype at the moment, and with all of that hype comes some pressure. Now the arm wrestling world know who he is. They have expectations of how he should perform, but all of those expectations lie on how he's been performing on right. How is his left hand? Now, we did see recently in South Africa that Rickert did demonstrate that his left is formidable. He is strong everywhere. It doesn't matter which arm. If he arm wrestled with his right foot, he'd be strong at this stage. So, but here in this super match, Brett Coots. Now, this was there's a little bit of background to this. So Bowen stepped in to take on Brett on the left hand here. Almost this time last year, it was Australia Day. This is at Harrisville in Queensland. This is Brett Coots from Victoria, Bowen Cantado from New South Wales on the table, and I feel like Brett at this point maybe underestimated Bowen Cantado, and Bowen came in strong. I mean, he's a strapping young lad. You forget how young he is. He's 22, 23 years old, and 6'5". He's a towering giant, huge levers. You see Brett thinking, "Ooh, my goodness, this is a little bit more than what I was expecting," but walked away with the win. And Brett had some injuries leading into this event, and sustained some at this event as well. But walked away with the win on this occasion, and has remained undefeated at AWE on left since. And so taking on Rickert Borman will have the effect of letting the rest of the world know about Brett Coots, who is at 47 years of age, I believe now. Still, I mean, he's at the top of his game. I mean, he is much like some of those great names of the sport that just seem to be like a fine wine, getting better with every month, every year that goes by, just finding something else, going to a deeper level, and coming out the other side better arm wrestlers. And Brett Coots as the undefeated man on left hand, he can lose that title at AWE Grand Prix 3, but he can also elevate himself to the globe's consciousness when it comes to left arm pullers in the world. So we just can't wait to see what the result of that will be, and we know that Rickert's excited about it. We know that Brett is salivating over this matchup. This is what he's wanted for a long time, and we're just hoping that Brett can get there injury free and be his best on the day, because Brett Coots at his best is just something to behold.
Oh, absolutely. I can't believe he got out of that first round. That was insane. We were watching it back just a minute ago, and I was like, how the hell? Look at the position he's in here. Bowen's on top of his hand. He's got all of the leverage in the world on his side. Brett managing to squeeze his shoulder in, and he just gets enough in there to get all the way through. I think it really surprised Bowen. I thought he was like, I've got everything I need right here, but Brett's still able to hold it and get through for the pin, which is just, I mean, the guy's absolutely ridiculously strong. It's insane. So he'll be taking on Rickard Bornman, the South African sensation, who has dominated the AWE heavyweights, AWE Grand Prix 1 and number 2 as well. So as well as going overseas and having success against Don Hollywood Underwood at the Knuckles Up card in New Jersey. He is on a big streak at the moment. This is left hand for him though, so it will be very exciting to see how he goes up against an absolute left hand monster in Brett Coots.
So 23rd of March here in Adelaide. You can buy tickets very, very soon. We'll let you know how you can do that. You can be there in person. There will also be a tournament going on that particular day, being run by the SA Titans here in South Australia. So this will be the equivalent to their state titles here in South Australia, and anybody can compete. You don't have to be a South Australian in order to do that. So if you are watching the podcast and want to jump on a plane and make your way over to South Australia at the end of March, then we would welcome you with open arms and can't wait to see you here. Of course, this is going to be absolutely huge. The tournament, the 85 kilo Grand Prix, and then the icing on the cake, Brett Coots versus Rickard Bornman on left to decide who is the AWE left-hand champion. So let's just turn to the comments, and we hope you forgive us as we run a little bit over time. We are super excited about this event and have so much to share. So thank you very much for hanging in there, guys, on this slightly longer version of our normal half-hour podcast. But we'll turn to the comments now before we head away.
Absolutely. Yeah, James Beach is in. He is from the UK, one of the top arm wrestlers over there. He will be competing on the Arm Gods card, the Independence Cup on the same weekend, but on the Friday night. We will be on the Sunday. I believe he's taking on Jody Williams from the United States, so that will be an incredible match. Siren French McGee, who was on the show last night, is in with a hand pink waving. And Brandon asks if it's Triple H that's on the show with us here. Yeah, absolutely. We've got Greg Yeo, as we've mentioned a few times here. Phil Woody, who is also from the UK, is in. He says hello to you, Phil. Kim McNally has jumped in from Facebook to say hello. Let me scroll down a little bit further. Ashley Hoyter, who is a tremendous powerlifter from New Zealand and a formidable arm wrestler as well. And she was
a Brett Coots fan.
Yeah, that's right. She will be watching this upcoming event with Brett very closely. She did tremendously at AWE Grand Prix 2, winning against Australia's number 1, Keziah Harrington. Dan John is in. He says, the lads, and he gives us a nice little biceps there. We got 3 biceps out of Dan John for that. It's quite good. Lucky Wood is here. Hello to you, Lucky. Thank you for all that you do with your amazing work promoting arm wrestling for women and overall throughout the United States with your podcasts. We go a little bit further. We'll see if anyone. Well, Arm Historian. The Hand himself has made his appearance. He says hello, and it's great to see him in here. What else we got here? Ella Savey, who is Josh Barker's other half. She says, go babe. That was for when we had Josh up on the screen. The Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward has jumped in as well. He says, who are these awesome weirdos? You can just hear it in his voice as well. I think I've got everybody that has commented so far. Oh, Sam is Kiwi Sam from the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club. And Josh Barker's just jumped in right at the end. He says he's just hit a 37 kilo riser.
There's some 85 kilo news for you.
There you go.
Drew's a big fan of Ashley. Big fan. Looking forward to mixing it up with some of the great pullers from around the world. He can't wait to see Ashley take to the international stage. And, well, 2025, who knows what's on the horizon for that young lady. I believe that Ashley is preparing to smash her previous world record of over 700 pounds, I think 317 and a half kilos, depending on where you are in the world. She's going to smash her own world record there, and then God knows what she's going to do to the other ladies around the world when after that. She is just an absolute amazing talent and a wonderful human being as well. So good to see Ashley here in the chat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You know everything you need to know, apart from one little gem, one little bit of information, which we'll just keep our cards a little bit close to our chest here at the AWE headquarters, and let you know a little bit more as that comes to hand. But 7 of the pullers in the 85 kilo 8-man double elimination tournament that we call a Grand Prix, the Grand Prix 3, happening here in Adelaide on the 23rd of March. Please get excited. If you want to be here in person, we can do that for you. Reach out. We'll make sure that there's a spot reserved for you if you're interested in joining in on our tournament that'll be taking place, run by the SA Titans, and you want to walk away with the state title, well, you might just have that opportunity as well. So, Hollywood Mate Connelly, final thoughts before we go away?
It's going to be massive. I'm so glad we actually get the announcement out there. We've had it in the works for a little while, but we wanted to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row, and we didn't go off and make an announcement that we had to then change. So, yes, it's going to be absolutely enormous here in Adelaide in the same venue, the Grand Chancellor Hotel, Hindley Street. And we've got some of the best pullers in the under 85 kilo division that will be going at it for the AWE Grand Prix 3. They're fighting it out for the belt.
Absolutely amazing. Can't wait. Thank you very much, Hollywood Matt Connelly. Thank you to everybody who's in the comments as always. And we look forward to bringing you more arm wrestling tonight